called this year for 9:15.
Listen, we get everything off earlier. That's all.
Mark locked in at 8:45. I'm just saying.
And then I left the room. I figured I got plenty of time.
All right, we're ready to roll.
Why didn't we put the time?
Yeah, he doesn't get on until later.
Jacob, can we do the Tuesday night cheer via Zoom also?
Can't hear you.
Can we do the Tuesday night cheer via Zoom?
Can we do it via Zoom? I think a lot of the guys that come to Tuesday night share don't have the capability.
They can call in.
I know, but I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know if it's. I don't know if they will or they don't. They don't.
Maybe do it in the backyard.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Paris, what we got there?
Hello, there's been minyanim in my backyard nonstop, by the way. FYI.
He's got a backyard minion factory.
It just so happens to be, I won't tell you which rabbi that signed the letter has been to every minion in my backyard.
There was my mother lives
They're
on.
coming out with a new letter soon allowing backyard minyanim.
Oh, yeah?
Already. I don't know what's taking them so long to put it out.
It's not normal. They can't get directions.
Great.
Should have been out a while ago.
We have to listen to that.
Yaakov, how come they don't ask you to sign any of the
Yaakov, 1 second. Maybe Rabbi Frankel's pressure got to them.
Rabbi Frankel shut his show today, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
I heard some video when
Yaakov, they don't ask you to sign the letters?
he's keeping it open.
Can't hear.
They don't ask you to sign the letters?
Frankel from
I could sign the letter theoretically, but I am not involved. I ain't involved.
I didn't see a letter signed.
He's going to sign that sushi over a plate of sushi.
That's right.
He doesn't eat sushi.
I never ate sushi though, but other than
And he
that,
didn't sign the letter.
there you go. Yeah, whatever. It's a sad time.
Disinfecting.
It's a sad time. There's no two ways about it. It's a sad.
Jacob, are you getting on a plane or not?
Am I getting on a plane? No. Maybe I'll drive. I'll see.
Are you driving?
Where are we going, Rabbi?
What?
Colin, where are you going?
Close your window.
I could get a normal minion.
Where is that? There's no place like that in the world.
Kalman, if you think if I found it, the last person I would tell is you.
Colin, are you driving to Uman? Where are you driving?
I wish we could drive there. They closed all the borders in Ukraine. That's it.
Yeah,
I guarantee Ukraine, half the population in Ukraine has it.
Nobody's talking about Russia.
You can't even go to Canada.
Stolberg, I want to tell you half of the population or all the population of the 5 towns have it.
Yeah, but that's for a different reason.
Yaakov,
Yes.
it don't come back yet?
No, tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night.
Okay,
Is it
ready to
tomorrow
chazer?
tonight?
So, yeah, okay, let's chazer quickly, and then there's a lot to do tonight. Not a hard daf again, but it's a lot to do, halacha l'maisa. Really, I would like to read a Mishnah Berurah together with the Olam, but I can't imagine someone's going to want to do that or not.
Jacob, Aaron Horowitz said that you have to do the first Rashi for me and Peretz.
First Rashi.
About drinking or something. He was very into it.
What?
Oh, we discussed it last night. That there's shikras at night. During the day, you don't get shikras. During at night, you do. So anyways, the chazer from yesterday quickly. So we talked about in the skufa. I can't remember. How did we translate a skufa? Threshold. There you go. Threshold. Right. So how could it be that threshold sometimes becomes a Rosh Hashanah, sometimes becomes a Rosh Hashanah?
2 days ago.
And then we discussed the skufa, which is a pillar that's 10 tefachim high and 4 wide. That's in a Rosh Hashanah, so that you wouldn't be able to carry from that. Even though you carry from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah, we still wouldn't be allowing that. Then we said the Mishnah of not doing things before you daven mincha, and the Gemara seems to first say that it's mincha ketana, which is the later zman mincha. Then the Gemara says no, it's mincha gedola, and then there's 2 pshatim. Yeah, there's 2 pshatim. One is that it's talking about like complicated haircuts or complicated meals or etc., etc. Or the other pshat is that it's not. It's regular haircuts, but we're afraid that the muscle, that the scissors are going to get broken, and that type of thing. And Shulchan Aruch, it actually says, interesting enough, that if you know that the barber has a few scissors, right? So if one breaks, you'll still have other scissors. Then it would be no problem. Okay. I don't know if we should discuss the halacha l'maisa now. Okay, and then let's hold off. Let's see how much time we have after what we learned tonight. And then we have, then the Gemara goes through all the times when things start. Like when does a haircut considered started? Because we said in the Mishnah, once you start, you don't have to stop until this man comes along, right? So at what point is it considered starting? Yeah, fine. So and then we discussed different hanhagas of undoing your belt before you start eating. Yeah, so fine. That takes us to Yud Amud Aleph. 4 lines down. Is that what we went up to? I think so, right?
Maskefler of Sheshas.
Very good, Yosef. You're the secretary of the shir. Yeah.
Isn't he adorable?
Yeah. So Maskefler of Sheshas. So Rav Sheshas asked the kasha, Trichusa l'meser hamane. Is it a tircha to tighten up the belt? Right? Meaning, what we seem to be saying, that a guy loosens his belt, that's it. His meal started. It's too big a pain for him now to tighten up the belt. And let him get up and daven that way, so he doesn't tighten the belt. Right? Let him just get up and tighten and daven that way. Mishum shenemar. So the more answers, because it says, "He kind likras alachav Yisrael." You should prepare yourself to call out to Hashem Yisrael. So therefore, you have to have on a belt. Okay.
Right?
Now,
Did the Gemara answer the first child?
Oh, very good. So that's what some of the Mefarshim ask. Well, did this answer the first child or did it not? Right? Let's see the Tosfos. Let's go to the second Tosfos down. And the Gemara wasn't even concerned about answering the first question. Right? So it's the same. We can, from here, you have to tighten up your belt when you daven. Yeah? So from here, so that sounds like you need a gartel. Right? So that your heart doesn't see your erva. So therefore you need a belt to block it. Okay, so now from here it sounds like those kalman that wear a gartel are they're right, they're the correct ones. Right? So then they say
No, Allah Lamaitza, Rabbi. Allah Lamaitza.
No, v'dafka lohen. V'dafka lohen shelo yoyelem nechnesayim. That was dafka in their days when they did not have pants. L'kacha yitzrichim lezer b'shas tefillah. Right? That's when they didn't have underwear or pants, so therefore they needed to tighten the belt. But us, that we have a belt going across our pants, so therefore we don't need a gartel. Okay? Shulchan Aruch though does paskin that it says you need a belt. But when we say, like the Tosfos says, that's because you don't want your heart seeing your aver. So then as long as you're wearing something tight, then it's fine. But let's say taka you don't have, so then you would not be able to daven, right? So then those that wear gartels nowadays is because it became their pshat is that they became like a beged chashuv to put on for davening, right? And therefore you should put on some sort of extra beged for davening, to which others claim that was back then. They were talking. That's when they wore gartels. It was something chashuv. Nowadays, a gartel looks ridiculous. So that's why.
So that's why you wear a hand jacket, no?
Some say that. Some say that's why you wear a hand jacket nowadays, right? For special for davening. But anyways, that's the gartel. That's the hak about the gartel. Yeah.
The gartel is considered a beged. It wouldn't be considered like an accessory or whatever. Is a tie considered a beged?
Yeah. A tie would be considered a beged.
So too with a gartel, you say.
Yeah. Right. We said that joke already once. No, didn't we say that joke? Right. The Litvish say that we don't wear gartel, right? And the Chassidim say that Litvish do wear a gartel, but they need to separate they wear a tie. They need to separate their head from their heart, as opposed to their aver from their heart. Right?
Would you need to wear it all day then?
No, he's supposed to wear it special for davening.
Oh, only for davening.
Your father
Yeah.
told me that he wanted to.
Yeah. Okay. Vayter Gemara. Rava writes the 6-7 lines down. Rava bar Avhuna Rami Kuzmiki Umatzli. Rami bar Chama would put on socks, and then he would daven like that. Amar Hikan Likras. He says the same pasuk that we just said, that you should put something on to daven. This is also important. This shaila people ask. The next toast is Rami Puzmiki Mikan Yesh Leichiach Shein L'Spal Yachif Ela B'Tespa of Yom Kippur. From here, we prove that you should not supposed to daven barefoot. Right? You don't daven barefoot only on Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur, meaning not without a shoe.
Really? Okay.
Right? So that's otherwise you should be wearing shoes when you daven. Okay, that's negayah to nowadays.
Or
Sandals are out of the question.
Sandals. So sandals. You asked, right? Is that what somebody just said?
Yes, sandals.
Sandals will be okay if it's in a place that it's proper to wear sandals. If you're in a place that it's not proper to wear sandals, then it would not be right to wear sandals.
This is shul or davening?
No, davening.
In your house, let's say.
Even in your house, yes. Even if you're davening b'yichidus in your house and you're not going to no backyard minyan and all that stuff, you got to put on shoes. Yeah.
And if you're sitting down to say kabbanis,
no, just fine. Rava threw off his glima, his coat, and he put his hands together. Umatzli, and that's the way he davened. Amar kavda kamei mari. I'm davening like an Evan in front of my master. So therefore, he took off his coat for that. All right. Amar Rav Ashi chazina leil Rav Kahana ki ikat tzayra ba'alma shadi glima parcha yadei matzli. So Rav Ashi said, I saw when Rav Kahana, when there was tsar in the world, right, which maybe is now, he would take off his coat and he would put his hands together and daven that way. Amar ka'avda kamei mari. I'm davening like a slave in front of a master because it was a ace tzara.
It means the hands
right?
like this?
I don't know exactly what it means with the hands.
I remember hearing something like this.
He puts his hands in his fingers is the way Rashi says it.
Wait, you're allowed to put your hands like this?
That's a Chassidish thing.
Right?
It means like this. It means like this, right? Chassidim or Kabbalah or whatever don't do this.
Didn't we have this already in Brussels? He put his head between his knees.
Yeah.
In Gemara, no?
No, I think this is something else. It's just the way he held his hands that way. I don't know.
Right?
Why does it keep
I
saying
remember, I asked Rabbi
hands
Akiva
together?
about this.
Okay.
What's the whole deal with the Eish Sarah?
Well, meaning there were two different ways to daven. There's a way to daven when there's a tsar, and then there's a way to daven when it's not a tsar. So when there's a tsar, he took off his jacket or coat, and he put his hands one in the other, and he davened like a slave in front of a master. He kashalma, when it was peaceful, lavish umischase, he would wear the clothing, right? He would wear umischase umisatif, and he would wrap himself in clothing umatzli when he daven, and amar hikan likras akach Yisrael, because you just have to look more chashuv when you're going to call your master. Meaning, I think what it seems to be saying is that when there's a tsar, so you have to be much more humble. But when it's not a tsar and it's a peaceful time, then you could already come to Hashem looking more chashuv. Right? That's basically what Rav Ashi was doing, or Rav Kahana. Yeah? Okay. Rava Chazil Rav Hamnuna de Kamarach B'Tzeluse. Rava saw Rav Huna davening a long time. Amar Manichin Chai Olam V'Iskim B'Chai Shah. You're leaving Chai Olam and you're being Isaac and Chai Shah, meaning because he's saying you're davening so long, so instead you're losing out on learning. So learning is going to last for you in the next world. Davening is your davening thing for things in this world. So therefore you're leaving chai for the stuff for the next world, which is everlasting, and you're being Isaac and stuff for this world. Who suffers man tefillah l'chud was man Torah l'chud. And he held the reason why you could daven long is because there's two different times. There's a time to daven and there's a time to learn, and the two don't necessarily mix. Meaning, from here it sounds like when you're supposed to be davening, it's not considered bittul Torah, right? So Rava clearly held that it was like you daven, you do what you have to do, and then you go back to learning. And Rav Chia, who was it? I'm sorry, Rav Nuna felt no. When you daven, you daven. When you learn, you learn. Rav Yirmiyah,
there was this man davening.
what?
One Zman was shorter than the other. They both held there was this man davening.
Of course, you have to daven, but the question is, should you spend a lot of time davening or not? Yeah. Fine. Rav Yirmiyah, Haba Yosef, Kamid Rav Zera, Haba Aski B'Shmaitza. Rav Yirmiyah sat in front of Rav Zera, and they were being Isaac and the Shmaitz. They were learning Nagad L'Tzluye, and it became time to daven. Haba Kamas Rav Yirmiyah, and Rav Yirmiyah started getting nervous. Right? Somebody who removes his ears from hearing Torah, his davening is also going to be disgusting. Meaning, don't stop your learning because you have to daven. Okay, so that's two little members about the importance of learning over davening. Yeah, fine. Now we go back to our previous Gemara. When is considered haschalas din that you're not allowed to start doing din? When it becomes mincha time. One says once the Dayanim wrapped themselves in the talis, that's when they started. That's the first thing they did, right? A judge wears robes, so when they wrap themselves in robes, so then that's already considered the tchilas din, even though nothing's really started. And the other man says it's much later. It's only once the people, the plaintiffs, start talking. But like pleading, there's no machlokes, meaning they're not disagreeing with each other. One is talking about where they already tried one case and now they're on to the next case. So then, how do you know when the next case starts that you shouldn't start before davening mincha? So that's when it's considered starting when each one of the plaintiffs opens their mouth. But if they haven't started any dinim yet, then it would start when they when they wrap themselves in their garments, right? Again, one is when they're already being Isaac and now they're coming to another din. One is talking about where they were not Isaac and now they're coming to start din. Rav Ami Ravasi were learning between the pillars, right? Meaning the Rashi says the second floor leaned on these pillars, and so they learned by the pillar. And every hour they would bang on the doorway. And they would make an announcement. Anybody that has to come sit in the Bezdin who needs a court case should come now. Meaning every hour they stop their learning and they announce that we're available. Rav Chisda and Rav Huna were sitting in din a whole day. And then they got weak, right? So Tanalu Rav Chia bar Rav, so Rav Chia bar Rav told him, Rav Chia bar Rav Midifti told him, the nation, Klal Yisrael, stood above Moshe from the morning until the evening. It couldn't be that Moshe would said dinim the entire day. When would he do his Torah? Meaning, when would he ever learn? If Moshe was answering questions from morning to night, so how could it be that when would he ever learn? What it means to say is kol dayan shadon din emes lamitoy. Anytime a dayan paskin something properly, lamitoy, to the truthful way, afilu sha'achas, even if it was just 1 hour that it took him to paskin that way, ma'ila levakos kilu nasa shutav lakadosh baruch hu, but ma'isa bereshis. It's as if he became a partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ma'isa bereshis. How do we know that? Because and the people stood above Moshe, meaning around Moshe from the morning till the night. And it was in the evening and in the morning. Right? So what?
Anytime someone passes.
No, it seems like it's din Torah. It seems like it's talking about Choshen Mishpat.
So when your emails that's back and forth, it's good enough?
I don't know. Right? Fine. So basically what it's saying is that when they were feeling weak. Rabba and Rav Huna were sitting in din a whole day. Right? So this was the chizik that Rav Chia bar Rav Midifti told them to be mechazik them that they're doing good things because they're considered a partner with Hashem. Fine. Next, on Masa Yoshim V'Din, right? Until when can you sit in din before you have to daven? Until the zman that it comes to eat, right? Amar Rav Chama Ma'ikro Dechsiv Eilecha Eretz Shemalacha Nar B'Sorech B'Boker Yochlu Ashrecha Eretz Shemalachech Ben Chayrim B'Sorech B'Eis Yochlu B'Gvura V'Loi B'Shsi B'Gvura Shal Torah V'Loi B'Shir Shal Yain. Right. So okay. So from that pasuk is that it's saying that they ate in the morning, and that it's you're praiseworthy that that you've done things. So now Torah Rabbanan Shor Rishonim Michael Ludim. The Gemara is going to say an interesting case here. Not a case, but a thing. Shah Rishonim, Michael Ludim. The first hour is when the Ludim eat. Shniya Michael Listim. The second hour of the day, that's when the, what do you call Listim? The robbers, right?
Thieves.
There you go. Shlisha is Michael Yarshin. The third hour is when Yarshim eat, right? Meaning the guys that are they don't work too hard, so they can eat in the third hour of the day. Revius Michael Poilim. The fourth hour is when the workers stop working to eat a little bit. Chamishas Michael Kolodam. And the fifth hour, that's when everybody eats. Aini, it's not true. So that's the schedule of different eating times of people. Aini, it's not true. Amar Papa Revius Matzul Lakol. The Chol Adam, it's the fourth hour, not the fifth hour. Hela Revius Michael Kolodam. The fourth hour is when everybody eats. Chamishas Michael Poilim. The fifth hour is when the workers eat. Shish is Michael Talmud Chacham. The sixth hour is when the Talmud Chacham eats. If you haven't eaten until the sixth hour, then it's as if you're throwing a stone into an empty flask, right? Which means that there's nothing to it. So if you don't eat before Chatzos, so that's as if you're not going to really benefit from that food. Rashi says there are those that say it means that the food is actually being bad for you. And then he says he doesn't think that's a shot. He says that it's not going to do good for you, but it's not going to do bad for you either, meaning your food is meaningless after 6 hours, right? Which is, by the way, if you ever hear about that on a fast day, so they say to fast till after Chatzos, this is the shot in making somebody fast till after Chatzos, because then you're not going to be benefiting from the food on a fast day. This is the Gemara where the Chatzos comes from. Okay? That's only if you didn't taste anything in the morning. But if you tasted something in the morning, then there's no problem, and your food will have a good effect on you, even if it's after 6 hours. Okay? Fine. End of that. That's the end of that subject. Okay. Right. Omar. Now this is Gemara. Now that they closed the men's mikvahs around there, so this Gemara is not negay again because of the whole matzah. Yeah.
That's the same program that you're using.
Yeah. So Amar Rav Adam Mispal Adam Tfilas Bebeis Hamerchatz. A person is allowed.
Rabbi,
to
by the way, do you agree that they closed the mikvahs or not?
Do I agree? I'm not a doctor.
The doctors say it's not a problem.
If the doctor said it's not a problem, then they shouldn't have closed it. But I imagine they have doctors that said that it is.
But you see that for the Noshim, they didn't close.
That's a little bit different.
Why?
Come on, man. We ain't gonna get involved with the men's mikvah situation, are we now?
Rabbi, you know, for me, it's a shverkeit. You can't imagine. I have to go to Tzulitz every day at 11 o'clock. I go.
Okay. Okay, and when do you eat? Which one of the categories of here is were you eating? Which one are you?
I eat by night, Rabbi, by night. After Chatzos. After Chatzos.
Okay, right. Anyway, so the Gemara says here that a person is allowed to daven in the Beis HaMerchatz. Meisvei, hanichnas the Beis HaMerchatz. Right, so if you go into the Beis HaMerchatz, makom shebnei adam oivdim yesh mikro tefillah. So now the Gemara is going to say there's 3 different areas of a merchatz. Right? It's a if it's the outer room where people stand when they're wearing clothing, so then you can daven there and you can read psukim there and you can daven there. Shalom, and of course you can greet somebody there. And you're allowed to put on tefillin there. And you don't. And we don't have. It goes without saying that you don't have to take off your tefillin when you go there. So that's category number 1. Malkum 2 is Malkum Shabbanei Adam Oimdim Arumim Ulavushim. Let's say you have the middle room where some are undressed and some are clothed. Yesham Shela Shalom, there you're allowed to greet your friend. Vein Sham Mikro Tefillah, you can't learn and you can't daven. Vein Echal Tefillah, but you don't have to take off your tefillin. But Vein Ameniach Lechatchila, but you're not allowed to put on your tefillin Lechatchila there. Right? That's the middle category. The most strict.
We learn in brachos you can't even bring your tefillin into the base of merchatz. They had to stick it into a hole in the wall, and then the zona took it.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the next. So then we have this next bakum. See, that was just talking about the inner merchatz, like this category. I think bakum shnei adam marumim, the place where the people stand totally undressed. Ain't sham shela shalom. You're not allowed to greet somebody. Vein tzarich lemer mikro tefillah, and it goes without saying that you can't learn and you can't daven. Tefillin, and you got to take off your tefillin. And it goes without saying that you can't put them on. So I'm assuming that it means you can't even bring the tefillin in there. You got to take the tefillin off, right? Right?
Yeah.
Meaning, that's look at what Rashi says, and if they're in your bag, you can't take them. So from there, maybe it's mashma that you could bring your bag into the tefillin.
That was the conversation we had about in the airport and bringing your tefillin in a suitcase and in your tick.
Right. Okay, but that's maybe a little better because our bathrooms nowadays are not as bad.
Right.
Where does it come from?
About a base of merchatz, a base of kisei. Because we were learning those gemaras at the end of brachos and saying that a person can't even expose himself, a tefach and two. On one hand, on the other hand, we're saying straight out here, the base of merchatz, that people are walking around in the begadim of Adam Arishon.
Right.
What's the nafkamina? Why do you have to be so knocked into the basic when you go into the basic kisei, but when you're base of merchatz, people are walking around like that?
Oh, that's a good question. That's because in a base of merchatz, that is the makom that you're supposed to walk around like that. The base of kisei is talking about in a public area, where you're really not. I mean, it's like a guy stopping in the street and going to the bathroom. So you have to be as neat as possible. But in a bathhouse, you don't have to be because that's the derech to go there.
So what's the din in our bathrooms today when you go into the basic
our
kisei?
bathrooms nowadays are that it's a makom that's meyuchad to be undressed. So then you have no problem. That's
all
also
these chumras that we're talking about the basic kisei. If you blot ago, it has nothing to do with us.
Correct. That's why also the heter for not getting undressed under the blankets, right? Shulchan Aruch says you have to get dressed under your blankets. That was back then where their bedroom was also the dining room, and it was a multi-purpose room. Nowadays, our bedrooms are pretty much, you don't really do anything there other than go to sleep, right? So then, therefore, it's not, not everybody's bedroom, but yeah, that's maybe in Eretz Yisrael though you might still have that situation. Not usually in America. Mm-hmm. Okay, but anyway, so those are the three categories of merchatz.
Yaakov. Yeah. Yaakov, where do we get this halacha of a Talmud's not supposed to be in the mikvah then with his Rebbe?
Where does it come from?
Yeah, I would assume it would be found here if it was a real thing.
Oh, it is a real thing. It is a real thing. What the source is, I don't remember. I think it's just out of respect. But that's halachas only if the Rebbe was in there before you were in there, right? But if the Rebbe was there, he walks in on you, you're not mechuyev to leave, right? It's halach and Shulchan Aruch. I just don't remember. I don't remember the source for it, which is no chiddush that I don't remember the source. Anyways, yeah.
Rabbi, there's a long restriction list who you're not allowed to go with. Father-in-law, father,
correct,
son.
Correct.
That people forget in today's day and age. But they close the mikvah. That they know what to do.
Yes.
Still mad.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I speak to the Rabbanim, Rabbi. They also have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
No, the people in China, Rabbi, say there's no pachad. It's a joke. It's no really pachad.
Okay, we ain't getting involved with that now. Maybe afterwards. But anyways, okay. So those are
maybe the pachad is of you, Kalman.
Yeah.
All right, you're slow with the mute button tonight.
I'm not there.
Anyways, because Peretz's son is sitting here, he's doing it live here. So Peretz's Moshe is sitting here, so he's the mute guy. Anyways, so we have a stira in the we said before this brisa that you can go into the base of merchatz, you're allowed to daven. And here we have three different categories, and only in the outer room are you allowed to daven. But in the other parts, you're not allowed to daven. So Kikam Rav Adabar, so Gemara answers, we're 5 lines up, last word on the line. Kikam Rav Adabar, Merchas Shein by Adam. That's talking about in a merchas that has nobody in it. So it's an empty merchas, then you'd be allowed to. Then Gemara asks, Amar Rav Yosef Rav Chanina, Merchas Shomer Rav Pishein by Adam. Pesakise Shomer Rav Pishein by Tzaya. Then when we say that you're not allowed to daven in a merchas, that's even if there's nobody in there. And in a bathroom that you're not allowed to daven in, that's even in a bathroom that has no excrement there. Kikam Rav Adabar B'chadati. So where did Rav Ada say his din? He set up by a brand new bathroom that was never used, right? But otherwise, once it was used once, then the halachas would kick in. The Gemara asked, but this was a question Ravina asked. When somebody just decides that something's going to be a bathroom, what's the din? Yesh zimun or ein zimun? Is there preparation for a bathroom or not preparation? Meaning that's the literal way to translate it. Meaning, let's say you decide that this is going to be a bathroom. As you're doing construction, right? You do a new construction.
There's pipes. There's everything. There's
correct. But let's say there's no toilet there. Let's say there's no toilet there.
There's water.
So what? But it was never used as a bathroom. There's no toilet there. You just
going to be a bathroom. Construction to be done to make it a bathroom.
Good, but Lamaisa, it was never actually. You decided to prepare it, and you made it as a bathroom.
Basically, what's the reason?
Huh? What's going on? Somebody's background over there? Yeah. Anyways, okay. So here we're talking about if you just decided that this particular room is going to be a bathroom, but you never actually made it into a bathroom yet. So is that considered a bathroom or not? So that was the question for like Yishatale, and he didn't answer the question. Right? Lavu adin lemerchutz. So that he had this question by a bathroom. Wouldn't he have the same question by a merchutz? So we say lavu adin lemerchutz. Lavu adin lemerchutz. Does it not also when you have the same shot of a merchutz? Loi dilmashani beisakise demaz. No, maybe a beisakise is considered a disgusting place. So therefore, you are. Once you decided it's a Beis HaKisei, so then even if you have never even moved any of the toilets or whatever into it, it would still be considered. It has the shame of a Beis HaKisei, it has the name. Oh, this is a Beis HaKisei. How can you go daven and make a bracha in there? But a merchatz is this is going to be the shower part of it. That's not something that sounds disgusting. So therefore, until you decide. Until you actually put in the plumbing, or I don't know the plumbing, but until you put in the actual shower, you'd still be allowed to daven in there. At least that's the Gemara. That's Gemara things.
You'd be able to use it. If you clean it out and put in new water, you'd be able to daven in there.
No, because it still has a dinner. It already was used as a merchatz.
No,
it was already used. Out. So what? But it was used as a merchatz.
And what about a Persian bathroom?
Persian bathroom we had in brachas. The Persian bathroom, the Gemara says, is okay because it flushes the stuff away.
Okay, we don't mention that here.
What?
We don't mention that here.
No, because we're talking about regular bathrooms. And a chanami, a Persian bathroom, this wouldn't apply to. 100%.
You're saying if someone's house is under construction and they planned out to put a bathroom, but nothing was done yet in the bathroom, you could daven there?
No, the Gemara doesn't know. He doesn't answer.
Or the opposite. Let's say you're doing over your house and it was the bathroom. You made it like a bedroom.
No, once you nullify the bathroom, then it's for sure. Then it for sure loses its status as a bathroom. But you have to you can't just decide one day, I'm making this no longer into a bathroom. Right? That won't work. Right? You have to actually do a ma'aseh to make it not into a bathroom. Yeah? Fine. So anyway, it says, Ein Sham Sheila Shalom. You're not allowed to say hello. Right? In the inner bath, in the inner place where they stand undressed, you're not allowed to say hello. Right? This is a proof to Rav Hamnuna. Also, a person is not allowed to say hello to his friend in a bathhouse because Hashem called to him Gideon called HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom, meaning the word Shalom is one of the names of Hashem. So therefore, you're not allowed to use it in a bathhouse. So then the word himnusa should also be also to say in the Beis HaKisei, Dichsiv Hakel HaNeman, right? So the word Neman, and we're saying Hashem is a Neman, so Neman is also a name of Hashem, so maybe you should not be able to say the word Neman. And if you say, okay, good, so don't say the word Neman, don't say the word believed in the bathhouse, because that's also one of Hashem's names. He says it is mutter to say himnusa Beis HaKisei. So Gemara answers, Hasam Shem Gufay Lo Yikri Hachi Timatakamina Alakam Mehemna. Over there, that the name itself, that's his name was not Hemnuse. We're not calling Hashem Hemnuse, right? It's the translation of Alakaz Mehemna. Alakam Mehemna. Hashem Gufay Ikri Shalom. Here, the actual name is Shalom. Hashem Shalom. And he called him, Gideon called him Shalom. So meaning, the answer is Hemnuse is not really, it's like a translation and or like a nickname of, I don't know, nickname is the right way to say it. It's sort of like a description and or translation of a name. But the word
Are you
Shalom,
allowed to call to your brother whose name is Shalom from the bathroom?
it's actually, the poskim discuss it, and Lamaisa they say it's mutter, but I don't remember exactly the whole sugya now. I should have looked into it. Believe me, if I remember, I'll look into it for tomorrow. You could remind me. What?
You actually greet somebody in a different language.
What, saying peace? No. So it has to be the word shalom. You call somebody peace, that's fine. And you say this problem is saying shalom aleichem. Like that would be the issue. And saying hello, no, it doesn't mean to say. No, it means to say the word shalom. Yes. Somebody wanted to say something, but your internet seems like it's out. Hello? Guys, hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Somebody who gives a matana to his friend, you need to let the friend know that you're giving him a present, which is also an interesting halacha. Like, why do you have to let him know? Right? And Rashi says the reason why you let him know is because otherwise it's a busha. If somebody gives you a present and you don't know who gave it to you, so you feel embarrassed about it. But if you know somebody gave it to you, so then you feel good that somebody actually likes you.
What about tzedakah to be?
It's tzedakah. This is a present. We're not talking about tzedakah.
You're not supposed to get presents.
Last night for the Yosifo, Rabbi Cohen said that, the punishment sometimes gives you a pet. The father gives you a son a pet. But he says if the kid doesn't know who gave him the pet, sometimes the father has to go back and give it to him again.
Right, I hear.
You're not supposed to take presents.
No, right, that's I hear. That's a good sush though, right? So you got to know who's giving you the present. Yeah, that's good. You're not supposed to take presents. That's a different. It says soinem matanos. If you hate presents, then you'll live. Doesn't mean you can't take presents. You shouldn't be happy taking them, right? Anyway, so right, so that you know that I am Hashem who mekadishchem. Yeah, Tani nami yochi ledaski ani Hashem mekadishchem. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'Moshe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe, Matana tova yeshi b'beis kanozai. Right? There's a song of this parrot. No, we haven't had a song in a while. Matana tova there is to me in my storage house. What?
It's the kid sitting next to you.
Yeah, but I don't think he knows it.
I don't know.
And it's Matana tova yeshi b'beis kanozai v'Shabbos Shema, and its name is Shabbos. And I want to give Shabbos to Klal Yisrael. Lech v'edim, go tell them. So we hear from this. If you're going to decide to give bread to a child, you need to let the mother know. What are you supposed to do to let the mother know? You smear him with some oil, or you put some like makeup on his eye, right? Well, I don't know. It's a very interesting way of letting a mother know that you gave the kid bread. But then the Gemara says, but nowadays we're chayshish for kishuf, for how do you call kishuf? Magic or whatever it is. So how do you do it? So whatever min you're giving him, so you wipe a little bit on the kid's forehead, and therefore, I don't know, forehead, or so you wipe it on him somehow, then the mother knows that you gave it to him. Okay? I can't say I clearly understand what that's...
Nowadays, they give a kid a lollipop, and he walks in, his lips are all red or blue.
What do you mean, what ice is?
Well, ice is this, that, the other thing. The kid doesn't care about a piece of bread nowadays. The kid cares about ices or whatever. He comes back, he's got it smeared all over him.
I hear. But I'm saying, what's the point? I'm saying the mother, what's it going to change? So they smear it on him. So what? So now the mother, what is she? She's calm? Or the kid didn't tell the mother? So, okay, whatever it is.
It says, Art Scroll says that the person may place this mark on the child so that even if the child eats the bread before returning home,
right, the mother doesn't know, that the mother should know. That the mother should know that the kid ate.
Yeah, well, that it was, and ask the child where it came from. The child will reply and add that the person also gave him some bread. The parents will know that the donor is fond of them. This increases love and friendship among Jews.
I hear. Okay, interesting.
Pretty fast, but whatever.
I still don't understand exactly how that does that, but okay. Now, Tosfos says what Naftali said, that that's only a matana that you're giving al yidei ava. The person's not embarrassed. But if you're giving a tzedakah and the person taking the tzedakah is be embarrassed, so then it's much better to do it hidden where the guy doesn't know. Okay. So now anyway, so the Gemara is saying, what we're saying is that if you're giving somebody a present, you got to let the person know, which was actually a Purim sugya, right? We discussed it. I don't know. Did we discuss it? I don't know. That shalach manas can't be given and should not be given anonymously, because then that doesn't make achtos. Because how do you know if you don't know who gave it to you? So you're not happy that somebody actually gave you a present. Anyway, so the Gemara says, "Eini, it's not true." Somebody gives a matana to his friend, he does not have to let him know. Oh, right. So this pasuk is right now. Right, Moshe did not know that his face was shining when Hashem spoke to him. So why didn't Hashem tell him that he gave him this? That he gave Moshe this present, that his face was shining. So like Kasha, one is talking about where it's not going to ever be revealed, and here one is talking about where it's going to be revealed. So if it's going to be revealed, so you don't have to tell him, right? So, but if it's not going to be, then you should. For Shabbos, but we said Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave a present, told Moshe wants to give Klal Yisrael a present, and that was going to end up being revealed. So why did he have to tell Moshe to go tell Klal Yisrael that they're getting Shabbos as a present? So Matan Schar lo yavid l'gluya. The schar of Shabbos that was not necessarily going to be revealed. So that's why Hashem told Moshe, tell Klal Yisrael they're going to get Shabbos, and they're going to get a lot of reward for keeping the Shabbos. Right? Rav Chisda have a noka biyadi tarti matnas in the Torah. Rav Chisda had in his hand two matanas from a shar, meaning, what does Rashi say? Where's the Rashi? Right? He had a pair of Zeraya and L'chayayim, the keva, right, that was given to him. And you're allowed to give it to Yisrael, meaning those were the matnas gona. Those are the parts of the carbon that go to the kohen. Right, so Rav Chisda had them, and the kohen would be allowed to give it to Yisrael. So he said he had a pair of these things, and he said, "I'm going to give it to Amar Kolman Da'asi V'Amar Lishmaitz Chazda Mishmei Derav Yavin Aleina Hele." Whoever tells me a new chiddush that they heard in the name of Rav, I'm going to give it to them. Amar Le Rav B'Machsi Yahochi Amar Rav. This is what Rav said. If you give a matana to your friend, you need to let him know. Shenemar Ladas Ki Ani Hashem Ekadesh Chemi. So Yavin Hele, so he was very happy with this. Rav Chisda was very happy with this. So he gave him the Zerayim and the Chayam V'Keva. Amar Chavivin Alach Shmaitz the Rav Kulei Hai. So he told back to Rav Chisda, you love anything said in the name of Rav so much that you're giving me all this meat. Amalei in, he said yes. Amalei Hainu Dama Rav Milsa Abashayu Yakira. Somebody who likes good clothing, so then it's considered chashuv to him. It's considered like he likes that clothing, right? Meaning somebody who likes fancy clothing, right? So then he's gonna always look for nice clothing. So somebody who what am I saying? So since he meaning Rav, members of Rav to him were like fancy clothing. And since somebody likes fancy clothing, he wants to constantly, it's worth it for him to give away meat in order to hear more things in the name of his Rebbe, right? You find that with people that are Talmidim. If you go tell them a new Chiddush that they never heard from their Rebbe, they get very happy about it, right? Amarle, Amar Rav, Hachi, Amarle, Amar Rav, Hachi, Pasraisa, Adifulim Ekamaisa. Rav said this, then your second thing that you said is even better than the first thing. Saying the second thing you said, is even better than the first thing you said, B'Shem Rav, and I had more meat, I would give you even more. Right? So he's very happy that he heard some members of Rav. Okay. So Amar Rava Bar Machsi, Amar Rav Chama Bar Guya, Amar Rav Lo'ilam al Yishana Oda B'noi Ben Abanim. A person should not, here you get parenting advice. A person, okay, it's a Shver Gemara, this Gemara. A person should not change from one son between his other sons. Meaning, a person shouldn't treat one of his children better than the other children. Because of the weight of two slayim, that's a measurement of melas. He gave a little bit more to Yosef than the other sons. His brothers became, right, the other Shvatim became jealous, and because of that, our forefathers ended up in Mitzrayim. So it's interesting. So he's saying that don't learn from Yaakov's, or learn from Yaakov's mistake. That's essentially what he's saying. And don't treat one child different than another because it ended up causing Klal Yisrael to go down to Mitzrayim. Okay.
Tell my kid I see him smiling over there.
Yeah.
Bukhar gets 2 portions.
Bukhar gets 2 portions. That's coming from Hashem. That's not coming from the father. That's halacha that the Bukhar gets 2.
But does that mean that he gets more? Like
he gets a double portion.
Bukhar is obviously more.
He gets double portion, yeah. But that's not coming from the father. Right?
For some people, it's double portion of debt.
What?
For some people, they get a double portion of the debt also.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Amar Rav Bar Machsi, Amar Rav Chama Bar Guria, another member from him. Amar Rav Lo'ilam Yachzor Adam Yeshe Be'irshi Yeshivasa Kraiva. A person should always live in a city that's newly settled. I think this also has to do with what's going on nowadays, but I'm no Baal Musar, so I don't know. But it's basically what it's saying is that you should live in a city that's newly settled, maybe like Inwood, right? Or North Woodmere or something like that. So because it's new city, it has very few Averas. Whatever that means. That means the Averas pile up in a city. Right? Shanemar, Ine no ha'ir hazois kroiva lanu shama. Right? This is by Avram Avinu, and this is by Light. This is a new city. It's close, and run there. V'hi mitzar. My kroiva. What does it mean kroiva? It's close. Ilem kroiva de mikarva v'zuta. If you say that it's close and it's small, v'hakachazula, he sees it. Elamitash yeshivasa kroiva. So what it means is that since it's karev, it's new, right? Avanisem mutzarin. It has less avanis. Okay? Sounds like from this that the avanis of a city and or nation pile up. You're gonna have problems.
How did they make a riot from
I don't know.
Like this
No, it wasn't. It says going to a different city. Go run to this city, to a different city. Run there. Now, if you think that Gematria is never in Gemara, you have this Gemara right here. If you're not into Gematrias, you have a Gemara here with Beferish that discusses Gematrias. Escape over there. Nun Aleph, Gematria Nun V'chad. That's Nun Na, right? The word Na is a Gematria 51. Nun V'chad Havi, V'shal Sedaim, and Sedaim is Nun Ubeis, right? V'shalvasa chavav d'chsiv shtayim.
What does Sedaim mean nun base?
What?
What does Sedaim mean nun base?
Sodom, how does this work with this math now?
Sodom was a year older.
Right.
Oh, the age, not Sedoim, the Gematria.
The Gematria Sedoim is not Nun Beis.
Okay.
No. Right. So in Malta Nashama no Gematria Nun V'chad, and Sedoim was settled 1 year earlier. Right. So it was 52 years old. Right. V'Shavas Chavav, and it was
1 year after it, Rabbi.
What do you mean? No. What do you? Sedoim was Nun Beis.
Sorry.
Yeah. The Shneim after Shana of the was Kidar Laimer, 12 years later, private Kidar Laimer, V'Shleish Shana Mardu, Uba'ava Shana, and then with 14 years. So you see that it was 26 years that they had this, right? Right? So they had 26 years of, how's it go? Yeah, 26 years of peace. Whatever it is, you see from this that it's better to go to even though there was only 1 year difference, but it's better to go to a city that's not as old as the other. Okay, I can't say I understand. I can't say I understand this Gemara exactly, but whatever it is, one thing we could take from it is that our avainas do affect our cities. That's one thing we could take from this. What time is it?
And the positives don't.
What?
And the positives don't.
And the positives?
Meaning you have a city, that has
I would imagine the positives also. Positives also. But
okay, in a city like Sedona makes sense, but anywhere else.
The what?
In a city like Sedona makes sense, but in anywhere else, why,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Move to, I don't know, the new base instead of moving to the old city of Yerushalayim.
The what?
You'd rather move to the far reaches of outside Yerushalayim?
I don't know. I don't know what this means. I don't know. Does that mean everybody should go out to the Kir of Kailos out in who knows where? Go out to Phoenix? Is that what it's saying?
I'll go for that.
No, it can't mean that. Nobody would ever tell you to move to Phoenix.
Or
maybe South End.
South End. Simon, how many Avinas do you have over there?
We had a gay mayor.
Oh God, forget it.
Anyways, if you want to see how the Mishnah Brura is directly connected to Gemara, so in Reish Lamed Beis, in Hilchos Tfilas Mincha, it's in Sifkat and Hay. It's too late. I'm not gonna read I don't know. You know what? I'll read it. Those I want to book out. It has nothing to do with the daf, right? So there it says, the Shulchan Aruch says, Lo yeshev adam listaper samach mincha, like exactly what our Mishnah says. Shulchan Aruch says, don't take a haircut before mincha. So now the Mishnah Berurah says, Hine mipnei if zeh yesh by pratim rabim, because in this sif has many parts to it. Lakach muchrachani laharach tzas. I have to go at length about it. Hine kol zeh asif lini nachila v'chein lini listaper. So the Ikonis Lamerchot, the Shvardor, and the Skarim Poi, who Mishnah Perakam of the Shabbos. This is all in the Mishnah in the first parak of Shabbos. The also Samach Lamincha, and it's also Samach Lamincha. V'loi Biara ha Mishnah Eze Mincha. The Mishnah, for whatever reason, doesn't say which Mincha it's in. He Mincha Gedoyla. If it's Mincha Gedoyla, he Mishei Shah Samach Lamal. That's from 6.5 hours into the day. The Samach Lahu Chatzi Shah. And close to it means 6 as a half hour. Koydem dahainu tekef achar means halfway through the day because that's 6 hours. Mincha katana, and the Mishnah doesn't say it's mincha katana. Dehu mitesha shayos umeftu lamala. That's from 9.5 hours into the day. But some of lazeh hainu mitchila shasiris. Right? Gam loy biara. So that's one thing. The Mishnah doesn't tell. Mishnah Berurah says the Mishnah doesn't tell us what mincha it's talking about. Gam loy biara Mishnah mad asalini nachila. And the Mishnah also doesn't explain what was usher? Idafka l'suda gedayla? Is it a large suda? The hainu suda it's nisuin, like a marriage, ukiya gamra, or something like that, like a bar mitzvah or a pidyon haben. As usher shema yavras man mincha, maybe because it's a big suda, so maybe you can't start the suda before mincha because you might forget to daven mincha. Afilu suda katana, because suda's kol adam, or is it a suda katana like anybody would eat? Usher dilma asilam shuche, because you perhaps you might eat a lot. right? So then v'yesham b'gemara shnei tirutzim, and then the Gemara, I skipped a few lines. Then the Gemara says two answers. L'tavayu Ariya Mishnah b'mincha gedoyla, and both of them are talking about mincha gedoyla, meaning from 6.5 hours into the day. Tiritz kama the kavanas Mishnah she'asu samach l'mincha gedoyla ayri dafka v'suda gedoyla. The first teretz of the Gemara is talking about a suda gedoyla. Hasuda katana mutur lahaskol adzman samach l'mincha katana. Then, but a small suda, you'd be able to start from mincha katana. V'yesh makilin oid l'teretzeh. Okay, that's one. Okay, that's that. But here it's basra the Gemara submission lesser afilu suda katana samach l'mincha gedoyla. And the second teretz is even a small suda samach l'mincha gedoyla. But nechel go apaiskum is a harifa rabba pasku ketirutza basra. Okay, that is the Mishnah Berurah's hakdama, which is basically exactly what we learned in our Gemara here, that we just, since Mishnah was not very clear as to what it's talking about, so therefore it causes a lot of confusion in the Shulchan Aruch. Push comes to shove, like we mentioned yesterday, and like I tweeted out today, is that l'chatchila, you should not start a Suda. Certainly you can't start from Mincha Katana, any Suda, once it becomes time to daven Mincha. The whole issue is whether you want to start before that. But once the Zman Mincha comes, then you're not allowed. So the only thing we rely on nowadays is because you have a set minyan, which is why nowadays that many people are davening Mincha alone in their homes because they're not going out. Therefore, there's no question that you have to daven Mincha before you come home and eat supper. That's but not before you come home. But you got before you eat supper, you gotta eat Mincha, unless you set an alarm or anything like that. All right, fine. Have yourselves a fine night.
So I got a question.
Did we like this 9:15 thing?
I don't know. What does the guy say?
In the office.
What?
Yeah. So ask my.
What? But we switched this because Reb Tzvi Yaakov needed to go to Marav, but you're not going to Marav now anyway, right?
Right now, no. Nowadays, I can move it back to 9:30. Once the day gets a little later, then it's
all right, so whatever, we'll leave it.
If you guys want to get a whole new understanding of Lech Lecha and like you never understood it in your life, Parshas Lech Lecha, go through Rashi and Tosfos. Meaning, if you go through Parshas Lech Lecha, it's in a completely different order than you ever understood it in your life, probably.
We're not here.
Yeah. Meaning the whole Parshas Lech Lecha is completely out of order.
I hear.
As a matter of fact, you wouldn't even be able to make heads or tails of what actually happened.
Can't make heads or tails out of anything that happened, to be honest with you.
I'm just saying, at least chronologically, Avram Avinu came back and forth from Charan to Eretz Yisrael a couple of times at minimum. Saying, if you make the cheshbon, it has to be that way.
Right.
Stein, I got a question for you.
Okay.
If men
All right,
can't
you got my
use
email?
the mikvah, why can women?
What?
If men are not allowed to use the mikvah right now, why are women? Why not just use the ocean?
Because first of all, men are not allowed.
All right, you got to throw some people off.
What? I think the kids left.
It's not
Yosef
me.
Steinberg.
It's not me. I'm not even talking. Bye.
It felt like a Gemara.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, so if you
First
said
of
that
all,
men can't use the mikvah,
First of all, it's a lot. I mean, women going to the mikvah is a little bit more important. I'm not even going to say a little bit more. It's a lot more important to go to than men. Right? So that's A. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa for them to go to the mikvah.
Okay.
Right? There's also no proof that going to the mikvah spreads anything. But and men's mikvah, it's a lot less. It's also not nearly as clean, men's mikvah.
Okay. That I can hear. And my other question is, let's say they allow these backyard minyanim to start up again. Is it worth it to daven one of the minyanim where you're supposed to have a Sefer Torah if you don't have one?
What do you mean, like Monday and Thursday?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. They're going to daven anyways?
No, I'm saying if they're going to allow these backyard minyanim again, and you don't have a safer Torah, is it worth making the minyan even if you're not like going to lane?
Yes, of course. There's two different things. There's laning, and then there's laning, and then there's tefillah b'tzibur. One and none do with the other.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
good.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Fine. Have a good night.
Tiago, did you get the paper yet?
I did not, but it could be it's in my house in a pile of papers. I don't know.
Okay, because I couldn't find. Yeah, it's definitely gone from me. So.
What kind of envelope did you send it in?
Just a regular old envelope. I just wrote Stein 812 Frisco on it.
All right. Who knows? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know.
Yeah.
There's no Eli Schwabel song. Shabbat Shimon.
Yeah, I think there is. No. What is that from that?
There's also the Yossi Green.
What's that?
The big one, you know? What are the words in the Gemara?
Matana Toiva Yeshli.
Never heard it?
No.
Serious? Where's my Mo?
It's on Yiddish Nachas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't listen. I only listen to the first song.
I hear you. I hear you. Stroll, you're under curfew yet or no?
It's a suggested curfew.
Uh-huh.
Did you get my picture I sent you?
I just posted it on the chat.
No, to parrots.
I posted it on the chat. I'll send it to Tzviakov.
You didn't what chat?
Family.
I'm not on your family chat. I'm only on the kosher way.
I don't know what this kosher way is. I just sent it to Tzviakov. Pretty funny. You're a lefty.
I should have posted that picture of Uncle Parrot's Tovia.
What am I looking at?
No, we both
both of you two? Oh, that's pretty funny.
And then we should get that picture of Parrot's Tovia by that convention that we have in Tati's office. Doing the same thing.
Right, that's true. Yeah. I hear.
There you go.
It looked better before I sent it. Before I snipped it,